There was a time in my life that I was told that as for self-defense, I should always carry pepper spray with me. I was fortunate enough that I was never involved with unwanted or unexpected people. Actually, I lied. There was a small incident many years ago during the daytime, but believe me, the spray was the last thing I was going after. These days, a lot of people show huge interest in martial arts. Is Wing Tsun Kung Fu part of martial arts? Well, I think that answer to this and many other questions will be answered from my today's guest, Master of Wing Tsun Kung Fu, Ralph Haenel. Nice to see you.
Nice to see
yes.
you.
Okay, Ralph. So thank you so much for coming to this location. I know you have locations somewhere else. We are not using your studio today. When I saw such beautiful weather, I decided we have to take advantage of it.
Oh, absolutely. So I wanted to thank you for the sunshine, and in return, I did my hair for you.
That's so nice, Ralph, that I could actually you let me to interfere with your life, and I know your schedule is very busy. Master of Wing Tsun Kung Fu. Wow, what a title. How did you gain that?
Well, I actually started to train Wing Tsun now about 30 years ago, and since then, from day one, I've been training and teaching non-stop, full-time now for over 22 years.
Wow, 22 years? You said? Wow. Well, we're going to dig into your history and all the background a little later. When I was looking at your business card you handed me when we met, it says Sifu and then your name. What Sifu means?
Sifu is often translated as teacher, but also master and also father. So many Kung Fu schools in the past operated in a family structure so that the teacher was seen a little bit as a father figure, but typically it refers to as a teacher, and if you have trained long enough, also as a master.
Well, I have absolutely no idea what you just said, but I'm going to get a little more comfortable and closer to you. What is actually happening? No, I'm not exactly behind this door because I know that you're a very good friend and former student. Let us use, if I can use that word, his studio, home studio, which we will see very shortly going through the door. What's about that passion of yours?
Well, it started a long time ago, actually, in the 1970s. I had watched very few shows on West German TV, and it was always a little bit about mystery around martial arts. And where I grew up in East Germany, you couldn't buy any books. It was long before DVDs, YouTube videos, so I couldn't get anything else. And so I started out with judo in 1977, the only martial art that was publicly available. Then found a half underground school of Japanese jiu-jitsu, eventually turned to Shotokan karate, which had come in from Poland at the time, until I found my way in 1984 to Wing Tsun Kung Fu.
Well, it was a long way to do, but I know you're talking about West German, so that's your roots are. You're coming from
Yes,
Eastern
I grew
Germany?
up, I was born and grew up in East Germany. That's right.
So what made you to come here, if you don't find that question as a silly question?
Oh no, that's a very important question actually. I always wanted to make this my job, not just was my passion anyway, was my hobby to teach, but at the time when the Berlin Wall was still up, there was no way to get there, obviously. And so once I got to the free world in 1989, then I started a job education at a real castle in West Germany. Imagine, so Middle Ages, a real castle where you can learn and study full time.
I can imagine the limitation or restriction you had it before, because I'm your neighbor. I grew up in former Czechoslovakia, so I know how that was, and for somebody so creative, so motivated and ambitious to be actually locked. Right? Because that's what you were.
Yes.
And I know about your history because you told me. It's amazing to listen to it, and would be really nice that one day maybe we'll just get together again and we can spread that news, because a lot of people don't know how you people live there and what's the reason behind why you're here. Did you teach Wing Tsun in Germany?
I did start already in '84 to teach Wing Tsun, because from the first time that an instructor came from West Germany, still disguised as a tourist, I got my instruction for several days. And that was it. So now what to do? There weren't any schools, so I had no choice but first with friends to start teaching them the little I knew from the very first weekend. So that's why I was basically teaching from day one in order to learn better, but also to have training partners.
Well, seems like you were born for this. What do you do, right? That's your passion. It's not your early occupation.
Absolutely.
So I was mentioning something at the beginning, martial arts, Wing Tsun. I know that martial arts serves both self-defense and also competing purpose. Is it the same with the Wing Tsun?
First, we have to look at martial art itself. Martial arts, so it's the art of fighting, which of course in today's age can have very different meanings. What we do in Wing Tsun Kung Fu is a pure and 100% focus on self-defense, since the moment you get attacked on the street, you don't have a referee. There is no trainer in the corner that yells, "Mia, you will get it done," and bring in a left hook, a right hook, a left hook. You won't have any weight classes, and since it's typically a surprise action, it will always be unfair. And that's why there's a humongous difference between a sport-oriented martial art and a self-defense-oriented martial art.
So I think that the talk does a lot, and we can also find more on your website, which is wingchunkungfu.com. But, you know, I'm really curious to see a little bit of the demonstration, because I know you have some students with you here.
Yes.
Would it be great to step inside of the hut?
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Let's do that.
Hi, I'm Jack McIver. When you go appliance shopping to all the big stores, you'll find big prices and the smallest guarantees. At McIver's, our high-quality washers and dryers are guaranteed for 3 long years. As well, our European stainless dishwashers are covered for 2 full years with smaller prices. McIver sells, services, delivers, installs, customer satisfaction for over 50 years. You can trust us.
I know this is not your studio, this is one of your students there. He's going to be joining us on here in the studio. Wing Tsun Kung Fu, this is the one thing, it's a package, or Wing Tsun and Kung Fu are two separate things?
It's a little bit of both, as always. Has to be a little bit complicated. So there are hundreds of Kung Fu styles out there, and Wing Tsun stands for one particular Kung Fu style, the one that was made famous in the late 60s, early 70s by movie action star Bruce Lee.
I know that name.
Yeah, you see him behind you on the calendar as well.
Oh, that's him. No, I know him. Yeah, so you mostly dividing it, right? They're two different things. They have some there's a fine line between, right? Wing Tsun and Kung Fu.
Wing Tsun is a Kung Fu style which basically points out that it comes from China as opposed to martial arts deriving from Japan or from Korea. So the major groups, they're also old European martial arts, but Kung Fu basically points out it's coming from China, and Wing Tsun is the particular Kung Fu style.
Well, you know, you explained so many things, and I think I would like to see some demonstration. I know you have your students here.
I know you wanted to see some action.
I do.
And I think Chris is waiting for us. Why don't we ask him in?
Please.
Let us switch places here.
Do you mind if I'll observe what you're doing?
Yes, so this way you can see it all firsthand.
Yep.
I usually start attack. It doesn't really matter if I'm getting punched, if I'm getting slapped in the face. Now he's not grabbing me because I don't want to lose the mic. Or if he just pushes me. The first thing I have to think about, either in a physical confrontation, can I walk away? So here I would have to look and say, hey, there's a stairway where I can run away. Can I talk my way out of this? We will get later to this part, but if it comes to the actual physical confrontation, then the first fighting principles, you see our arms are going up just for you now, and...
Okay, so I think it's time for me to leave. So now you can carry on. I'm still watching you.
So I do not want to just defend myself, because if a first attack comes in and I do get it, and the next come in, I might get overrun. So Wing Tsun is very forward oriented. So the first fighting principle that you learn is to go forward if the way is free. So the moment he attacks me, this is where I go in order to attack right away. The most important part. What is the most important part? It's not his right fist, it's not his left fist, and I know you're thinking about it, it's not even his kicking. Most important part is the brain, that somebody thinks that they can dare to attack you, threaten your life, threaten your health. So that's why I'm not even focusing on the punch or any of this action. We go right away forward. So first fighting principle, go forward. If I, for some reason, get stuck, we make this a little bit worky in this place, then we stick to it, because the moment I would withdraw, I might get hit again. So we stick to it. If the opponent is stronger, then we learn to yield to this greater force. Way is free. And once again, the command center. This is where all the little guys sit that say, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to kick you. Those are the ones we want to get out.
How do you two know ahead of the time who you're going to do? You don't read his mind, obviously, or do you?
Well, I try. No, I'm kidding. And it's a very important point. That's the beauty of it. If you want to learn to defend yourself, you basically have to be ready for just about anything. So what we learn to respond to is that the person comes in, our arms learn on the way to guard us at the same time while attacking. So meaning my defense can become my attack, and my attack can become my defense. So those are reflexes that will be trained over time, but you cannot even think about what is happening next. That's why...
Because it's a split of a second.
Yes, and that's what we need, because you don't want to be drawn into a long fight. You don't want to go for 3 minutes, then sit down, have a little drink, wait for somebody to go by, say, hey, is the next round going to start? No, it has to be finished very quickly, because with every even half second that the self-defense scenario goes on, you run the danger to get injured, third parties cutting in. So that's the reason why we also learn the moment the attack comes to, while we go in, to take away the space in which the person can do attack. If I would stand too far away, then he has the space in which to operate. By when he comes in, to move into him, we take away his opportunity, because for a moment he is slightly at a disadvantage, because he has to deal with incoming attacks, as opposed to me just being the victim that's defending himself.
How many bruises usually end up after a session?
None. No.
Okay, so can I just...
on my side, none.
A little role play, if
Yes.
I can, okay?
Yes.
Chris is meeting you in the street, and he's a really mean guy. He wants your wallet.
Yes.
Chris, please.
I want your wallet.
So the very first what we learn is, as I said initially, you could run away right now. Nobody has to play a hero and stand there and face the attacker. So if you cannot run away, second step is communicate. And for this, we bring up our arms that it doesn't look non-threatening. If I would put my arms up, say, yeah, why don't you take the wallet? Next moment he would hit me and take the wallet. So in a non-threatening positioning, saying, hey, come on, I had a long day, can I just get away from it? Only the moment he physically attacks, this has to be trained, of course,
yes.
That's the moment where we shoot into the contact, as opposed to what the attacker typically would expect as a victim, to go back and trying to stop him. We learn to go forward.
Okay, it was great verbal explanation. Can I just see a few seconds what would actually happen on the scene?
Yes. So the moment he comes in, we, as I said before, we go to parts that stop him altogether to move. If he is strong and comes in, he is moving me. So meaning I'm not trying to stop him. There's a lot of strength behind it. There's a lot of speed behind it. So I cannot expect for myself that I would be able to move this out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's see it like an incoming cannonball. At the moment he comes in, I use his incoming attack to know where I should not be.
Yeah.
So in a way, the attacker, again, has to be trained a lot, becomes very helpful. We don't work against the person, but with him. He's the only one who knows what's going on.
Exactly. That's true. This was really good. I really love that. Okay, so I see, I mean, with men, I guess it works easily, but do you have female students? Do you have the same approach and same training, put the same demand on a woman?
In a similar way. Of course, the scenarios are often different because women a lot of times experience violence attacks to a very high percentage in a scenario with people who they are familiar with, ex-friends, ex-husbands, and so on. So a lot of emotions come into the play. So that's why, as you observed already in our class, this is also an important part besides the physical exercises.
Yeah, that I would like to ask you later, but what I would like to see, because we have a woman, your student here.
Yes.
Can I see the interaction between Chris and a female?
Absolutely. Donna is here for us. Why don't you come in?
Yeah, she's going to join us.
Hi, I'm Jack McIver. When you go appliance shopping to all the big stores, you'll find big prices and the smallest guarantees. At McIver's, our high-quality washers and dryers are guaranteed for 3 long years. As well, our European stainless dishwashers are covered for 2 full years with smaller prices. McIver sells, services, delivers, installs, customer satisfaction for over 50 years. You can trust us.
What you will see for a moment is they do an exercise called Qizhou, very light.
What does it mean? Sorry?
Qizhou, what it looks like is as if those arms are glued together, they cling together, and Chris will give her a little bit of a light attack, Donna will respond to it, get out of the way, find her way in where to hit him, they go back at it.
This looks like a dance.
So this is done very slowly right now to make it visible. So what Donna was showing you basically through her positioning and through her training, she is sensing the attack, the direction of the attack, where it goes. Over time also the speed of it, so that she knows exactly where not to be, and at the same time it's feeding her attacking arm so that she can use, once again, the strength, the direction, and even the speed of the attack. And this exercise where the arms cling together, this is where she learns to pressure, let's say through her tactile navigation system, to realize where the attack comes from.
Okay, so this is a normal routine between 2 students.
Yes.
But she is not going to be playing like this with an attacker on the street.
No, absolutely not. So
if that happens, if somebody just grabs her and just go right away, what does she do?
I assume you wanted to see me get hit, right?
Well, we'd be there because you're a very good commentator. So it's just
Okay. So the moment Chris comes forward for an attack, she is right away getting into him. As you can see, she's not jumping back. She is not going into a long wide stance, and the next moment she will show it even more. She will go directly into his position the moment the attack comes.
Oh, wow.
So you could hear it a little bit. It's Donna being nice, wanting to do it slow, but you could hear the impact that she is giving, and you saw that at the same time she has her arm forward to control, even if it's for a fraction of a second, the attack, and she stepped in. So typically, a guy coming forward saying, "Hi, lady, I want to..."
Definitely not your wallet, right? So usually,
yes, definitely not the wallet, but getting close, invading space, thinking that this shouldn't be a big deal. But now, before she would get choked up, so if she couldn't run away, if she couldn't talk her way out of it, she learns to instantly attack the person to make sure that there's also a shock moment so that she gets a chance to get away from it.
Okay, I noticed what Donna was doing with her arms. It's almost like one arm coming to him, another one is supporting or backing up the other one, or that's what it is about?
Yeah, so that she basically leaves it up to Chris. He chooses on which side the defensive action happens and on which side offensive, so the attack happens. To Donna, it pretty much doesn't matter. She has her arms in front so that it once again looks non-threatening, but they're ready to blast forward to attack or defend as it's needed. And Chris is the one who, with his attack, determines what's going on.
What I was watching when she starts, like one arm up and
Yeah.
the one is protecting herself, or that's what it is?
Yes, yes, they're both protecting her because you can see here towards her face as well as from the elbows, her rib cage, as well as here on the side, the arms cover most of it, and then you could see how she, in a wedge-like scenario, goes forward, not really defending herself, but attacking Chris, who is at the moment the bad boy.
But Chris was just demonstrating that he was trying to hit the other areas which is not protecting. So how fast she can react to it?
Doesn't really matter. If one trains hard enough, of course, you have to put in a lot of training, then it doesn't really matter which side it is. You will become proficient on the left as well as on the right side. So both arms are ready for either job.
So can we see some quick movement?
Sorry.
So that's why I asked.
At one point,
Leaving.
at one point, the I'm sorry moment where the partner says,
Where the
no,
bruise is coming.
I am happy that you were so good.
Okay, so again, this is more what you do in a class.
Yeah.
I really would like to see what happened on a dark night on the street between women and men, between men who doesn't know that woman is trained.
Okay, so the moment now, however, Chris comes forward her, she will move forward and continue to attack him, something that is called chain punches, one of the examples that's possible. It was really great to look at Chris, that's the before
Nice
shot.
seeing you.
before and after, we'll do it later.
One point to make is in training, Donna is actually punching to my chest most of the time. In a real situation, it would actually be targeting
Face?
the face. Yeah.
That's what it would be?
For
Yeah,
demonstration,
okay.
it's to the
It
chest.
would be
Yeah.
unfair to hit Chris
Yeah.
several times in the face.
We like you, Chris. So this would be into face?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that would be goodbye to your teeth, Chris.
And also much faster, so Donna also showed it relatively slow, so to make it
And
visible.
nicely.
Yeah.
Yes, I try not to slip anyway.
So these students are advanced, and I know that Chris is actually training others and teaching others. I met Donna when you had not a tour of 20, 30 people there. What do you do with brand new students? Like, for example, a person who steps in your studio very first time, how would you start with?
I was hoping that you asked me that, because that would be you at the moment if you would come to me, please.
Good luck.
One of the first things is to become aware of your space. When and how somebody invades your space. You have to be aware of how you can position yourself, how to stand in front of the person saying, hey, what's the matter with you? I just want to walk away, to have your hands there, as you've just seen with Donna, for example. Then you get used to, in the very first hour already, about me explaining to you how, for example, simple attacks come into your space. So you will learn to control them, how to move forward, and at the same time...
Okay, so this is not what I was watching when I was watching Donna, okay? So I'm just trying to leave my arms like she did.
That's why she
Okay,
did the nice
so
version.
I'm holding you away from
You're
me,
just
and then
temporarily controlling. I'm, for example,
Okay, so-
the bad boy who's coming forward,
Yeah.
about to grab you. You just control... Hey, you're natural at this.
Oh, I don't
had
want to go any
jump back. Your
further.
fist was ready, because you don't need necessarily a fist.
Fist.
You can have your hand open, and we assumed now you couldn't get away. You only had the chance at this very moment, before you're in danger, to hit the person, to come forward. And this would be one of the actions. So you learn to, at the same time, cover yourself. Yeah, my makeup is all out of place.
That's right.
To cover yourself, to attack at the same time, and to still be aware how your arms build a shield in front of you. After this, for example, you learn how to form a fist. This is possibly very difficult, to bring your hands in, have your thumb here on the side, not on top, not inside of the fingers. Many do this. Whoa.
Like this?
I like the looks of that. Yes, to be ready with this, one hand is always a guarding hand. So if you're right-handed, for example, often, but not necessarily, your left hand would be guarding or come forward, which is the most difficult thing. What would be your natural thought? The attack is happening. Most people want to jump back. But in order to protect your life, in order to secure your health, you learn to get into the trouble zone. And
So
now I have to look out.
I'm protecting myself, so I'm pushing you, and
Yes,
then
you're just controlling for a moment. I'm grabbing forward, and now you learn to hit.
I didn't know how strong I was.
I know, I had to hold you back, because
know.
otherwise I wouldn't be in the picture here anymore.
Yeah.
So you become aware how
And now
your
what?
the muscles around your shoulder, how your arm muscles, your elbow, and your wrist, how those are different power sources which you learn to activate and to hit me. So you could feel now the moment you have your fist formed, and while you defend yourself and you step forward a little bit with your right leg and at the same time have hit, you felt in your arm something happening, your muscles tense up. So you also learn, before you even defend yourself, a lot about yourself. You learn how your body works, how you generate force, where you might be too tense, and you learn to be very natural.
Ralph Haenel, and more we can find about him when we visit his website, wingtsunkungfu.com. Am I correct?
That's perfect.
Perfect. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
everything. If we're gonna find a cup, you're gonna sign it for me.
I will, most definitely. Thanks so much.
So this is it.
Oh, I'm so glad to do that.
We forgot your books.
Oh, coming up.
Yeah, so I forgot about it. And they can be found on your website.
Yes, on my website.
The
That's the one.
reality of self-defense.
Yes, the difference between sport-oriented martial arts and real-world self-defense.
Get it? Be careful, I'm not trained. I can hurt.
We'll work this together.
Oh, boom.